So welcome to the Bright Muse. Thanks for tuning in. So we have Chris Price and Jim Baird. Dang it. I thought I was going to get that. And we're here at the fire station. Obviously, this isn't just my new home decor, though it would be pretty cool. Think about that. But we're here because they're going to talk about an organization that they're representing and a friend who that represents. So, all right, you guys. Would you like to introduce the organization we're talking about today?
Sure. So we both work on the board for Michael's Memories. Michael's Memories is an organization founded by Michael Williams. It's our goal is to send firefighters with cancer on all expense paid vacations with their families. The idea being that they can get away from cancer and enjoy a good time with their family without having to think about how they're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
We just want them to get away and enjoy the time that they have with their family.
That's cool.
So in 2011, Michael, the founder, was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, and as soon as he got well, well enough, the doctors gave him the ability to travel. He hopped got in the car with his daughter Madison, and they drove to Gulf Shores, Alabama, and they spent a week there just relaxing. They sat on the beach, just hung out, the two of them, and didn't really think about what was going to happen when they came back. They just enjoyed the time together.
Yeah.
And so when he returned, he sat us down and a couple of the guys and said, I want to do this for other firefighters. And that's how it happened.
That's awesome. And I was reading some backstory in a different YouTube about this, and he had said that during that whole cancer process, that trip was the thing that stuck out to him most about just, the highlight of obviously a hard time. That stuck out more than anything. So yeah, wanting to reproduce that for other guys is awesome, other firefighters. And I also saw, and this is interesting, that because of the job that you guys do, sometimes, this cancer can come from just the exposure, you guys may have to certain elements and things, so
there's
interesting to that story.
There's a lot of new studies out there that are showing that firefighters have a much higher rate than the general public of getting cancer, and so it's very unfortunate, but it's something that we have to deal with, and because of Mike, it's on the forefront of our minds now. The guys here have that personal connection with someone who had cancer, fought through it, and still, he lost the battle. But at the same time, he did something for us to where everything we do, we start thinking about cancer. We're building new fire trucks, we're testing out new gear, we're doing everything we can to try and prevent that happening to someone else.
Okay. So you guys are a little bit more proactive.
The percentages in the Metroplex from Dallas, Fort Worth, Coppell, like all of them, all the cancer that has come up has got it on the forefront. And it's changed our policies, it's changed our SOPs, changed how we conduct business after fires, for sure.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's just people like me. It's just something I wouldn't have thought about. So
we never thought about it.
Yeah.
And it's in our line of work. So
yeah. Gosh. Well, I'm glad that y'all are taking extra precaution. But at the end of the day, I'm sure you can only do so much, and so I just thank you for the sacrifice, man, for what you do.
Michael, he started with the fire department, and I don't remember what year it was. 09.
Close to it, because he put in
maybe 2007.
Yeah, 14 and a half years, I guess. And he was.
And so in 2011, we were training, and he started noticing a soft spot, and he went and got thought it was just a regular brain tumor, which doesn't sound good either.
Right.
But it turned out it was cancerous, and he started fighting it. He went into remission a few times, but he never stopped. I mean, the type of cancer that he had typically comes from or is diagnosed in older folks.
Mhm.
70s, 60s. So it was pretty rare for somebody in their late 30s to get it, early 40s.
Wow. And he has a daughter who was like 8, 9.
At the time she was 9, I believe, and then so her having to deal with it, but he was really solid all the way through. All he ever wanted to do was come back to work because he absolutely loved working in the fire department. He loved riding the ambulance. He loved riding the fire truck. He just liked being here.
Yeah.
And I think that helped push him along. That was one of his motivations to get better, is because he wanted to get back here.
Mm-hmm.
And then his second motivation, his second love, was the organization. He was around long enough to get it started, and I mean, we started with nothing. We started with we were fighting to raise money. We were fighting to. We went down the creation of a 501c3. It seems easy, but
no,
not for a couple of firemen. I'll tell you that.
And to his credit, he was passionate enough to keep the thumb on some of us, because we all have families.
Sure.
Yeah. If out of sight, out of mind, we would do a big gathering, or we'd do a big bash, we'd do a golf tournament, and then you just want to breathe. Well, you start breathing, and then you realize 3 or 4 months down the road you hadn't done a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd kick us along to where we had a bunch of firefighters running a 501c3 nonprofit, and it was not easy. It was not easy. It was the furthest thing from easy. So
just to get the status alone is hard, but not easy. Meaning like trying to raise the funds.
Yep.
Yeah.
So he pushed us along quite a bit. We got to where we had a few applicants, and it was basically people submitting. It was like we would reach out to other departments and say, hey, if you know somebody with cancer, another firefighter, send us their info. We want to know about it. We can send them on a vacation. So that was kind of the hardest part, was getting that information in. Just trying to get people to share that, because in general, firefighters we don't ask for much. We don't brag about things. We just we do a lot for other people. That's kind of the nature.
Right.
So, but once we got that information, it was real easy to book them a trip and say, hey, what do you want to do? Here's some options. We'll write the check. And in some cases, they went on cruises that were, those were easy. We just paid the bill. And then sometimes they wanted to go to ski trips or something, and we, give them some spending money in place of paying for the whole thing. Whatever worked for them the best. And
did you get to see any of the reactions? I mean, did you get to meet these people? And
so we'd have a golf tournament, and that's been our steady fundraiser.
Okay.
We have others throughout the year, but that's our main one, and that's kind of where we would bring we would call them the recipient of the trip. We'd bring them to the golf tournament.
Some were healthy enough to play, some weren't healthy enough to play, but we'd try to get them there. We try to bring our past recipients there, and then the golfers, most of those, the bars, the golfers, the car dealerships, all of our sponsors would be there, so we'd let them interact, and it was a time to say thank you to this side, welcome them, hey, introduce people, the recipients. Wow. And to tell you how, like when Mike approached us, it wasn't like you want to send the sickest of firefighters on trips. You think this is going to work out well for us? We truly thought through it before we said, yeah, we'll help you. But out of 13 recipients, 7 now with Michael have passed away. So it's a real deal.
Yeah.
Like we've selected a couple that didn't even take their trips before they passed away. So it's a tough sell. It's a tough deal all the way around. And like I tell people, I always give my bracelet out and say, hey, get on our website. Michael tells the best story. His very first video tells on how he got this thing all set up, and how him and Madison got in the car. It didn't matter where they were going. He was done with his first round of chemo. He just wanted to get away.
Yeah.
All the firemen drove him to and from all his treatments. He had a huge support group, but he was done with that. Like he wanted to get away from it all. So.
Right.
that's kind of cool to listen to it come out of his mouth, you know, on how he got this whole thing started.
Yeah, that is really cool. And that he still has this going on even after he's passed. I mean, what a legacy. I saw that y'all had someone that had served during 9/11. Is that right?
Ray, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. And he was one of the recipients too, right?
So we have a.
Like, this is far-reaching.
It's a very interesting. Like, I don't even know the details of all the stories, but of how everybody got to know each other. But one of our firefighters here is very close friends with some FDNY guys that were at the World Trade Center.
Mm-hmm.
Their house, it's engine 40, ladder 35.
Yeah, 3540 house there.
They have 12 people on duty,
Mm-hmm.
and only one person came home that day. And the rest of the guys that weren't on duty that day went down and obviously helped search and went through the weeks and months of that down there. Well, everybody that spent time down there pretty much has cancer now, of some sort. And so Ray Pfeiffer was one of those guys, and he went on to he got off the job. They kept him as a liaison for a while, something like that, and he would drive around, talk to folks, but he created an organization up there. And about the same time, he and Michael got to be really good friends. Michael would go up there and stay with his family, and they would come down here.
How do you find each other?
Just through the organization. So he was our first recipient.
He was our very first recipient, and for lack of better terms, we got lucky because we picked a FDNY guy that we really didn't know, but he ended up being the face of 9/11. And I'm talking about in Washington D.C. when they were changing laws for the fire service. He was the face of 9/11 cancer victims. So
what's his last name?
Ray Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer.
Like when he passed away, he had people at talking at his funeral. There was probably four or five well-known people. I can't think of their names right now.
Yeah.
The big one's John Stewart.
Yeah, John Stewart. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He took on the face, and he got to be good friends with Ray.
Cool.
So in any case, that connection was made, and so he came down here for a golf tournament and got to introduce everybody here, and
Wow.
it's been really good.
And he came back for the stair climbs, the stair climb they do every year down in
Right.
Dallas. He was one of the representatives that showed up. So we have been in contact with him. And then when Michael passed away, he actually had 2 FDNY firefighters fly out, say their last, actually speak to him, say their last words to one another. And then Ray Pfeiffer's brother was down here as well.
Okay. So tell me a little bit how this has impacted you guys personally, seeing all this, and you both have families, and
It's been tough. I'm not gonna lie. It was much easier when Michael was here pushing, but now I have this desire to make it go even further. We sat down, Jim and I sat down with Michael in his last month or two at his house, and we just sat and chatted for a few minutes. He kind of gave us his wishes on where he wants the organization to go, and where he wants it to continue. His father got real involved with it, and so it's kind of personally, it's more of a goal to make it even bigger than it is now. I mean, he is giving me the ideas to make it. I don't know. I don't want to let him down at this point.
Yeah.
I want to make it as big as we possibly can.
Yeah.
The legacy that he started, and already, what he left behind is amazing, and I just want to see it bigger and better.
Yeah.
And I love, I hope one day we get Maddie involved more and get her to help part of the organization. But
We are in the process of making our board a little stronger, not having so many firefighters with families that don't really know the business side of things, where we've branched out over the last couple of years and put some people around us that know the business side of things that have helped out. Because even though we were super proud that we would get together and we'd say, we sent one. We were proud to just send one person.
Yeah.
Like have $7,500 or whatever we were
Yeah.
spending on one person. we wanted to do that each year, and then we got to 3, and then this last year we sent 4,
Wow.
and now we're just sending them as they come in. But that's all tough though. It sounds all great, and until you gotta put your feet on the ground and do the work, and it's
Right.
hard with small kids and a job. So that's
Yeah.
why.
And this isn't just, you know, I mean, there's so many different kinds of nonprofits. This is a really heavy one, and you would hate to. I can just imagine the pressure.
Yeah.
Like, we got to make sure we always have the funds there, you know.
So the worst is we've lost a couple before we ever voted on them,
Yeah.
and then we've
lost
lost
them
a,
as in they passed
like they
away.
passed away, and then
Yeah.
we had a couple pass away after we even voted on them before they were able to go on a trip with their family. So it's truly real.
Yeah.
And having Michael alive was that transition, that little bridge was way easier to have Michael talk cancer with somebody else that had cancer. You know,
Yeah.
they could do that a whole lot better than you and I that try to talk that language with them, and it's super tough.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure, and I'm sure you know this too, that these folks are just happy with whatever you can provide, or just that you're doing this. I mean, whether or not you have first-hand knowledge of cancer, I don't, you know,
Yeah.
that may not be as big of a deal to them. It's just what you're doing. So awesome. So,
I think it's, you know, again, trying to think personally of how it, you know, he and I were friends, good friends. We were, I don't know, we worked on the organization together. We did it. It's affected my family in the fact that they loved Michael just as much as I did, and you know, my wife wants to get so much more involved because she knows what it means to me and the guys, and she knows what it could mean to our children.
yeah.
You know,
I'm sure that gets kind of close.
and just wants to show that we did something good for other people. I mean, it just
Yeah.
leaves that. It makes you feel good when you can say you send somebody on a trip, they come back, they thank you, they say, they show you a couple of pictures, some family pictures, and they've got something to hang on to. Their wives and their kids have something to hang on to.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Very cool. I'm sure that makes the anxiety worth it. I'm trying to keep up with this, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell me, when is this golf tournament? Y'all have it annually?
So it's every year.
We do October 14th,
Yeah.
Okay.
tentative.
Okay.
Because we haven't ironed it out. We were so behind the ball, like with Michael. He's been
Yeah.
sick since our tournament last year.
Yeah.
He really has been, like super sick. So October 14th tentatively, and I think that we will get that date. That's Columbus
Okay.
Day.
Okay.
October 14th, it's a Monday, and we do it at Tour 18. We've been having it at Tour 18 the last 4 years,
Tour 18.
and they've been a great host for us. And yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Well, and I'll post this video again as that date gets closer. So if it changes, I can put that on a video and
Okay.
announce that. So, how can people donate directly?
So the easiest thing to do is go to the website, michaelmemories.org,
Okay.
and there's a donate button on there. You can just donate with PayPal or whatever. You can also contact us, you know, if there's something you want to ask or follow up with. Our emails are on there,
Okay. Great.
and get in touch with us. That's probably the best way.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
there's
then-
a donate button on every page on our website. So.
Okay. And who knows, maybe some folks will look into this too, to, suggest someone as well. So it's great that you're emailing.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
we have a recipient button. If you want to nominate somebody,
Okay.
it's a really simple process to hit and click, and we ask a couple of personal questions for how you know them, a little
Yeah.
backstory on them, and how long they've been a firefighter or whatever.
Okay. Awesome.
And we're always looking for sponsors too.
Yeah.
For the golf tournament,
Oh, okay.
for other fundraisers. If there's, we have a CrossFit gym in Wiley that does a yearly fundraiser for us. So
Okay.
anything.
You mentioned a car dealership, right?
Yeah.
So we
provide
always
vehicles.
deal with car dealerships, and we've got a
Uh-huh.
roofing company that gives us money every year. And,
Okay.
and it's just a
Okay. So donations and
Yep.
sponsors.
Yeah.
Great. All right.
We'll take it all.
Thank you guys for doing this. Not only do you have your regular jobs and then families, and you're taking this on too. So I really appreciate it for all the people that are affected by this. Thank you.
We thank you for the exposure. We love to get it out. We'd love to get it out on
I'll do
every
my best.
way we could, every way we
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. And if anybody's on here that, you know, the story's moved you, go ahead and share this as well, and
Please.
share
Please.
the page for them. That would be great. So, well, thank you guys for being on, and appreciate it.
You bet.
Thank you
Thank you
very
very
much.
much.
Yeah.